Yo, what is going on, guys? It is your boy Lotus, and we are back today with another Tekken 8 video. Today's video, oh boy, we got a big one. Season 2 is upon us. The patch is out. The maintenance on the servers are still down at the time of making this video, but we are moving forward. So let's talk about the new Victor changes. Now, I will preference this video. At the time of making this video, there are probably going to be more optimal routes out there when we really figure out the new move. So if you're not seeing the most optimal stuff from me right now, by the Lord, do not say anything, because I'm not here to show you optimized combos. I'm here to explain everything about this patch for Victor and why I think that this character is in a better spot than he was in Season 1. So without further ado, let's get right into it. First big change that they made for Victor is a change universally across a lot of characters. Back 1+2 is no longer a heat engager. And this is a great nerf. I don't think Victor needed this. It was already a power crush that was safe on block. So by all means, take that away. I don't need it. This is more of a crutch for a lot of players anyway that were not good with the character. We don't really need this. Let's talk about his new move now, right? While running 1+2. So this new move automatically will transition you into EI stance. You don't even have to press a button like you would do if you were doing this. You don't have to, right? So automatically will transition you into EI. Now, your +4 on hit, very solid. 24 damage, nice. Here's my problem with this move already. As like I said, for a lot of people that don't understand this stuff, you're going to be learning a lot too as we're going through the video. Hopefully that you learn something. So a move like this does not track on EI1. You're only +4, but your opponent can't sidestep you right, because Victor is susceptible to sidestep right, and they could also sidewalk you as well. So if you think you're gonna jail this, yeah, you're not jailing that at all. So good luck. Now there is counterplay to it for you. So if you see them sidestepping this, like if I see them sidestep, I'm like, oh, okay. So now I can do this. EI2 is a good counter to it. EI4, EI3, and then EI1+2, because the 1+2 will hit them at the end, and then you have 1+2 as well. Now we'll get to the reason why 1+2 is doing that now, because it didn't do this prior. So there is counterplay to it on both ends of the court. So remember that as you're using this move. Now here's my big problem with it though, right? Besides that, this move is -14 on block, and you cannot transition into EI. So characters like Kazuya, I believe, with twin pistons can launch this. Other characters, I believe, like Jin has a 14-frame launcher as well. I could be wrong, but there are certain characters that can launch this. And they wrote it in the patch notes, right? In the patch notes, it says, while running 1+2 is a low attack that transitions into EI stance on hit, making it a useful mix-up alongside while running 2. Why would I sit here? Like, yes, it is a good low attack. Why would I use that when I can just guarantee myself the +5 and this will jail? And I believe it also jails on sidesteps as well. See? So, like, why would I take the risk in doing that and then not guarantee myself an EI1 here, right? So I don't see the point of this right now. I don't think the move is amazing in my opinion. Now there is a caveat to this though, as you just saw there. I was going to save it for later, but we'll talk about it a little bit now but before we progress to the new move. So if you noticed this move right here, oh, did I take him off? I did take him off. I'm an idiot. That's on me. On sidewalk right, he's gonna sidewalk that right. So on this, that whiffs, but this will track them. Now this is his new move as well. Now this is a good option still, but again, I'm not putting my stock into a move like that when fucking sidewalk again, excuse me, when I have the opportunity to make that +5 and jail you completely. So I don't see the use of it. It is a decent low. I just don't think it's the best move that he has. Now moving towards the best move that he has, in my humble opinion, I think EI down 1 is the best move that he got in this patch. And there's a multitude of reasons for it. One, let's put him on all block. This is a safe heat engager at -2. Fantastic. It does track on sidewalks as well, so they cannot run away from this, as you saw from before. Safe heat engager, and then obviously if they get hit by it, heat engager, and then we're plus 17. Or you could do the new changes to the heat system, where if you hold down forward, Victor goes into a crouching state, and then you can initiate your low mix-ups that you have, right? So, interesting enough, this move is freaking amazing. Do not sleep on this move. This move is going to be very ideal for Victor, and I'll show you why. So, and also too, you do have this as well. It does launch. Oop, I dropped it because I'm ass. Now, like I said, the routes here are not going to be the most optimal because we're still learning exactly what they are. But from what I came up with before, this is not bad. It's a good starting point into your mix-up, right? Because obviously you want to fluster your opponent with all this stuff. You want to make sure that they're feeling flustered with all the high octane mix-ups that you have with Victor. So, one of his best moves. Now, I bet you're wondering, well, that's cool and all, but what really makes it his best move? I'm glad you asked, because now we're going to go to the wall here. So, as you guys know, Victor is very strong when it comes to the wall. He always has been. Now, we're going to set the opponent to action after Ukemi. So, this is, we already set him to Power Crush. So, you guys know the setup that we love doing. You see it in my gameplays all the time, where if we knock him at the wall, we'll do this. And then Power Crush obviously beats that setup. We've known this for a long time. Now, here's the thing. This new tech that was found was not from me. It was from a player called Young P, and he's one of the strong Victor players out there. And this guarantees now Victor's forward down 2 to be a legit 50-50 at the wall. Now, if you're wondering, well, if this loses to EI down 2, then what's the point, right? The point is this now. This doesn't lose to EI down 1. Look at that. EI down 1 beats Power Crushes at the wall. Now this is massive, right? Because if you're at the wall with Victor and you hit this on somebody, say you're already in heat as well, right? If you're already in heat and you hit this on somebody, this will wall splat and you repeat the same process again. You could take the gamble if they're not going to Power Crush on Wake Up, or you could take the gamble of doing EI down 1 again. And even at the wall, it does wall splat at the wall naturally as well too, when you go into the heat engager. So this is in-fucking-sane. This now gives Victor a legit 50-50 at the wall. But since it's so fast, you also have to be careful, because if your opponent decides to lay down, which is possible, we'll have him to not set. I believe this won't. I believe he won't get up. No, he will. Okay, so what am I doing wrong here? Oh yeah, I haven't. Okay, so let's set him on not set. So if he doesn't decide to wake up, then your option would be to EI down 1, which is nice. So any type of thing, like right there, like you do your setup, hey, you see the not teching, you would do that, right? Gives you 20 damage on it, and it's more consistent than your natural one that you would do before, like if you do something like this. 13 damage, not consistent on how it's hitting. You could do this one as well, which is not bad, 23 damage. But I like consistency with my characters, so I mean, I'm just going to do this then. Nice little 20 damage, and it's consistent, and it flips them over, as you can see, right? Very nice. Now, this 50-50 now at the wall really changes Victor's game. In my opinion, it does now, because you have so many options with this, and it really sets the tone for how you're going to force your opponent to really block this. Now, Power Crush obviously will always beat that. Remember that. So, if you are in heat, you could also do this. And then, yeah, you relaunch again. Let me just do it so you guys can see what I'm talking about so I don't drop it. You can do that. Like, there's just so many options towards it. They get hit. You do it again. And then if you think they're gonna not wake up a Power Crush, you would do down 2, right, to get your plus frames. Because on block, remember, it is +4. So this is such an awesome 50-50 now. And it also beats Rage Arts now. So if you see the Rage Art, let's put him to Rage Art so I can show you this real quick. Rage Art, where are you, Rage Art? Okay, so Rage Art. So it also beats Rage Arts, which is kind of nuts. Because naturally... Oh, I mistimed that. You would get beat right there, right? Now, you don't got to do that, because you can do this. This is freaking great. It beats Rage Arts and it beats Heat. Sorry, Power Crushes, I mean. So, legit 50-50 at the wall for Victor. And we're not even talking about other stuff, right? Let's take him off of that, because you guys know what the 50-50 is now. Oh, I didn't mean to set him to block all. Nope. Sorry, set that shit to not set. So, even if they don't do Power Crush, or they don't do it, you're safe at -2, or you could do this. You could mix him up with the low now. So, he has legit 50-50 at the wall. You have to guess now between mid, low, or you could do whatever you want. You could do EI down 2 for more pressure. It's whatever you want, and this is what I feel like this character is excelling at. Victor already had a good corner game. Now you put a legit 50-50 on your screen with EI down 1. This is getting nuts for the character. So, again, not my tech. Young P, I'll put the clip down below. If you guys want to go follow him on Twitter, go right ahead. This dude's insane with Victor, and most of his tech that I usually find is from him. Like, he's such a great player. So, let's move on to... Let's take him off back row, and let's go back to mid-screen here. So, we have a new move. Yeah, so while crouching, this obviously was a thing before, right? Now you can do it from this. This is amazing. This allows Victor, if you see in the bottom left, +6 out of Perfumer. He can go into Perfumer now, and the same thing applies with what we talked about before, right? If we have him sidestep right, he can't sidestep that. You can't sidestep a homing mid. You can't sidestep that though. So be careful with that move. If you go to Perfumer 3, be careful with that. But if you do Perfumer 2, it'll hit him out of a sidestep. So he's able to contain somebody from sidestepping out of this because it is plus enough where he's able to do it, right? Awesome change. This is such a good change for Victor, and it's like we said before, right? You get hit with a move like this now, Victor goes in, he's already crouching, and he's threatening now this move, because if you get hit by it, we could do that as well. This is the thing, man. Oh, but also do not do that as well, because let's set him to size. I forgot about that. Do not do this as well, because when you do this, they could walk and sidestep that. So you have to be careful with throwing that out as well. If the opponent knows the matchup, then clearly they will sidestep. So this is just a little bit of like tech for you guys as well that don't know how to fight Victor. Just sidestep that stuff if you see it happening. But awesome change. Next change, as we're moving through this video, because like I said, I want to move fast through this video, but I also want to give you guys informative information, because a lot of this stuff is so much to handle. But holy shit, man, we are thriving right now for Victor. Next one was up 1-1, up forward 1-1, right? This move has been great. It's one of Victor's best punishes. 13 frame punish, 15 plus 15 on hit. But you never really got anything guaranteed, because if you tried to do this, they could sidestep on wake up. You would only have this like check them or something, and down 2 would also reach them as well. Now what they did was, because why not? We need more Victor buffs, right? They made it so you could transition into Perfumer, and if you notice in the little bottom left, you are plus 19. So what this means now, as we showed you before, Victor is weak to sidestep rights. If you do this, they cannot sidestep this. They have to hold whatever mix-up is coming, and this is just all guaranteed now. So here's the scary thing about this, because this is a 13 frame punish, and this is very accessible with Victor. So you punish somebody with this, right? You have that. You're plus 6 now on block. But wait, there's more, and we'll get to this later. You can cancel into EI stance now off of that. Like I said, we'll get to that soon. So all of this is guaranteed on sidestep. They have to take the next mix-up, and you could also grab as well. You have to delay the grab, I believe. Yeah, delay the grab slightly. You could also grab out of it. It's just a bunch of mix-ups that you just put on your opponents, right? It's actually ridiculous. And the same thing goes for EI 1-1. If you do this in EI stance, just cancel into Perfumer. It's the same thing, and you have the same transition where you can do that to initiate your next plus frame. Now, let's move on to the next move. During Perfumer, so you have this, right? Look at this new move. So Perfumer now allows you to cancel into EI. This is actually pretty good. If you've noticed in my videos, I've always done stuff like this. Depending on your opponent, if they know the matchup, like I've done stuff like this, right? Where on block, if I go, now you don't have to do that because, or if I've done this before into people's faces, I'll go like that and then grab them, right? You don't have to do that no more because now if you want a faster way into EI, it is a gimmick. Do not get me wrong. It is a gimmick. But if you condition your opponent enough, stuff like this is going to be hard for your opponent to react to, and then you have access to your mix-ups instantly. It's little things like this that I'm telling you, you have to really, really lab this out now with Victor. His Perfumer stance and his EI stance just became so much more of a threat that a lot of people are not realizing that stance characters are going to be running this fucking game now. Excuse my language. But again, yeah, Perfumer, 3+4 transitions now into EI. So anything that goes into it. Back one, that's another one. Back one that goes into Perfumer, you can go into it. It's just, it's a lot of gimmick stuff that a lot of people let happen, right? Same thing with 2-1. 2-1, cancel to Perfumer. Look at that. Like, there's just a lot of gimmicks now. Now, if your opponent's mashing, then you would do something like that if they're pressing. But if you have an opponent that's respecting you, holy shit. The amount of mind games now that we can do with this is insane. You have so many different mind games now with Victor, which is actually crazy. And this is what I wanted. If you watched my videos before, I've always said that Victor needs more ways to get into stances. If they want to make him a stance-heavy character, you need Victor to have multiple ways to enter stance. And that's what they did in this patch. All right, next one is 1+2. Then holding down, yeah, during Perfumer. During Perfumer, 1+2, right? So as you saw before, it's very simple. After you do this now, you are allowed to go into EI stance. And this is beautiful. Such a beautiful thing, because if you saw before from what I showed you, this is guaranteed. So you know what that means. EI stance immediately. And you could do whatever you want for mix-ups, man. You could do whatever you want. And you could do that as well. If you want to play it safe, you can. Because you can do that now with Victor. You don't have to take a high-risk maneuver. You can just do what you want. EI stance. Bam. I'm safe. Beautiful change. Another beautiful change for Victor. This is just insane. I'm actually baffled with how many changes that they gave him for this stance shit. It's actually nuts. But guess what? It doesn't stop there, because the next big buff that they gave him, 1-1-2, classic 10-frame punish for Victor, right? Always ideal to use this with Victor. One of your best 10-frame punishes. Now we can go into Perfumer. It's a beautiful thing, isn't it? We go into Perfumer. Now, like I did say, if you do this, they could sidestep that. They can't sidestep that because that's a homing high now. Oh, sorry, it's always been a homing high, but you get my drift. I'm just talking too much. I'm so excited. You have all these moves that will track, except for 1+2. Just remember, 1+2 will not track on sidesteps if they know you're going to go for it. Insane. So now off of a 10-frame punish, we have a chance now to go right into Perfumer. Oh, and that's another thing. I forgot about that. You can grab him. Just grab him right after if you wanted to. It's as simple as that. Victor's game plan is going to be a lot easier to execute in my eyes now, because if you play the character for a while like I have, you know exactly what his game plan is. Using those stances, initiating mix-ups and stuff, and making sure your opponent doesn't play the game. Now, with Victor getting these changes, you have to be so careful. If you do any punish, if you do something that's -13, I'm going into Perfumer, and guess what? You're holding that every time. You better hope you don't do this, because now you have to guess to EI. If you do a 10-frame, if you do something like -10 and -11, right? -10 or -11, bam. Back into Perfumer stance, initiate your plus frame, whatever you want to do. This opens him up so much, man. And if you can't tell, I'm just super excited with how the character is. So let's get into the next one, which is Perfumer 3. So Perfumer 3 is interesting. Well, it says Perfumer, and then it talks about the heatburst. So Victor is a character that has stances, obviously, and if you have a stance, your character now can do this, which is actually great. Really, really good. I mean, this is something where you still have that mix-up, but now we can go into Perfumer and go into our low. It's an amazing change. An amazing change. Oh, and by the way, we'll talk about this now. They did make his heat smash -14. Awesome change. Every character could launch it prior. Now, just like a couple characters will. Like Kazuya, because fuck Kazuya. Big change coming up right now is his back two. The move that mostly nobody really uses. You don't really see people use this with Victor. This move is changed for two things now. The recovery time has been reduced by 3 frames. As you can see, it's a lot quicker on recovery. And they expanded the attack hitbox on it, so it's like it's gonna hit from pretty far now, like right there. Like you don't have to be up close no more. You could be like right there, and it'll hit. And they changed the startup frames on it. It was 12 frames. Now, if you look in the bottom left, it's 10 frames now. So we got like a mini Yoshi parry. And if you obviously don't know how his parry works, it's quite simple. You're guaranteed a heat engager there, or you could do something like this now, where you can go into that stance. Like, there's just so much you can do, bro. You can do this. So, like, there's so much off of this parry. I can just do this now and then go into EI, and I'm safe at -2. It's a beautiful fucking thing. Beautiful fucking thing, man. This is amazing. All right, next one. During EI stance 1+2. This now, like we talked about a little bit in the beginning of the video, EI stance 1+2 is now, as you see in the hit properties, it is a homing high. This was never a high before. And the same thing goes for EI 1+2. This now, the last hit of it is homing as well. Both of them are homing. Fantastic changes, because now, like we said before at the beginning of the video, you can cover those side steps with this attack. Fast homing high that will grab anybody on sidewalks or side steps. Very good change. Now we got a change that I requested. If you've watched my videos, I've requested this change before because I felt like Victor's lows have always been super shitty in my opinion. So what they did was, it's not a crazy buff, but it's still a buff nonetheless. Down 4 is now -13. Used to be -14. Very solid. I'm glad they made this change. Victor's lows were so unsafe regardless. Like, most of them are like -15, -14. Like, this is -17 still. I mean, this is not amazing, but I do use this now more than ever because you can't low parry that because it's a weapon considered. Down 4 though, being -13 is great. Then you have now down 3 and down 4 both being -13. Fantastic change. And they also made it so on hit you're -2 now, as opposed to -3. So like if you're -2, you'll sidestep. Now you'll be able to sidestep a lot better. If I can do it. I can do it. Like that. Like you'll be able to sidestep off of being -2 now, because you have a lot more frames to play with, right? Next change. Up 4. Now they says right here, up 4 has changed the timing for the jump status activation from 14th to 9th frame. So they really I mean, it looks different in my opinion. Like, I don't know. I mean, I barely use this anyway, so it's whatever you guys want. Like, you guys can figure out something with that. I barely use up forward 4. It's not a bad thing, but obviously we went over the heat. His heat smash is now -14 as opposed to -15. Great change. Now let's get to a big boy change. Now this is where we're gonna start getting into the rest of the buffs that you're gonna see for the rest of this video. In my opinion, I think this is where we started getting a little crazy for Victor. Like, don't get me wrong, I love buffs, but now we're getting to the point where it's becoming a little bit overkill. Because why are we doing this now? And what you're about to see is this. So they made it so during heat, down back 1+2 is now +9 on block. This used to be +6. So if you don't know what this means, that's guaranteed now. That's guaranteed. That's guaranteed, and that's guaranteed. All of his mix-ups bearing this. Actually, no, this is 20 frames. I mean, you might be able to just trade at best, but it's the fact, though, that we could sit here now and do something like this. Like, if we set him to a high, right? Put him on punish. Like, this is... To me, this is nuts. Like, look at this. It's jailing him completely. Look at that. He can't press. Can't press, dog. He can't press on that, though. So if you try to do the low, he will be able to press on that. Same thing here. Can't press, man. And then, for shits and giggles, right? Look at that. It just jailed. Like, this is crazy. This has so much utility now. If they decide to press, which most people will, because a lot of people, if you guys know, a lot of people in Tekken don't like blocking. They're going to just get smashed now by so much of Victor's stuff if they decide to press on +9. I mean, I always sit here and say, there's no way you're going to press on +8 when I'm in heat with Victor, and motherfuckers still press on +8. So, if they're pressing on +8, they're definitely going to press on +9. Insane change. Did Victor need this? Fuck no, he didn't need it. He did not need that shit. Will we take it? Fuck yeah, we'll take it. But this is absurd. Now, let's get to the next thing, right? During EI, they made EI... EI 3. This right here. I did Perfumer. That's my fault. EI 3 is now a little bit safer. Used to be -14. Now it's -13. Pretty good change considering it is a power crush. -13 power crush is not bad. We will take that. That's a W change. And let's move to Wall Rising 3. So Wall Rising 3 is interesting, right? They buffed it and made it 14 frames now instead of 15 frames. I don't see the point of this because I thought that this move would splat at the wall, but it doesn't even splat at the wall. So it's like, what's the point, man? I mean, like, in my opinion, I don't see a point of it. Maybe you guys can point out something for it because I personally don't see a point from it. I'd rather still take that as a punish. I mean, yeah, it's a good amount of damage, don't get me wrong, but I still have, like, my Wall Rising 1. I still have this as well. Oh, that's right. I can't make that. I can't do that no more. That's no longer a thing. I have this as well where, like, on counter hit, like, I'll still get launches. So it's like, I never really used Wall Rising 3. So it's whatever. I mean, whatever you guys, if you guys find something for me, let me know down in the comments. But for me, I'm not a big fan of it. I don't think it's a crazy change. What else did they do? So we're getting close to the end of this video. I knew this video was going to be wrapping up to 30 minutes. I fucking knew it was. Maybe even 40 at this point. But we need to talk about everything. We have to go over this. 2-2. 2-2 is a big one, too. I like this as well. This is a very good change. 2-2 used to be -12. Now it's -10. Almost safe. Oh, God. If they made this safe, oh, Lord, this would be great. But only 10 framers now will punish this. I'm fine with that. We're not taking a lot of damage then, but this is that's a cool little change. Nice little change for it. Now let's get to the overkill. I saw somebody post this in my thread on YouTube when I was telling y'all about the patch, but I was like, I'm super excited to like put out the video. And I was like, yeah, I was like, this move right here, forward 1+2. This move is now +3 on block. It never was +3 before. It was -9. Like, holy shit, dude. Did Victor need this? No, he did not. But are we gonna take it? Sure. But like, from like right here now, like, you're +3 right here up close. If they try to take their turn back, you're guaranteed a jab or a down forward 1. It's just like, they can still sidestep, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. We sent it to sidestep. Yeah, they can still sidestep. Yeah, they can still sidestep, which is, I mean, it's something, but I mean, if they do sidestep and you're noticing it, up 1 will clip them as well. If you don't know about that, up 1 will clip them. Down forward 1 gets beat by sidestep as well. So it's like, they can still sidestep, but it's a funny buff to me because I'm like, bro, like, he didn't need that. Will we take it? Sure, but like, I don't know, man. That's kind of overkill to me because it's already a very good move anyway for like how far it goes. It's shit on recovery, but they didn't need to give him that. Down back 3, right? So down back 3 is the next change that we're gonna go over. Slight change that they made for it. I think it's quite interesting. On normal hit now, this is a tornado. which is quite interesting to say the least, right? I mean, nobody's complaining. Nobody's complaining about it. Like, it causes tornado on natural hit every time. Cool. They did nerf it though. It is -11 if you saw on the bottom left. We'll show it one more time. -11 right there. It used to be a safe high. Now it's -11. So I mean, all right, cool. Nothing too crazy. Back 4. So back 4 is the next one that we're talking about real quick. Back 4, they changed the opponent's behavior. If you notice, your opponent now like goes kind of like goes down into a like almost a crouch position, right? And you are plus 13 on hit. So this guarantees you a couple things here. You could do 1-1-2. So you could do this. 1-1-2, go into EI. So I keep saying EI. I'm so used to EI stance. Not used to Perfumer stance. 1-1-2, go into Perfumer. You could do back 4, the full string of 2-2-2, and then you go right into EI. Or you could do this string right here, up 1-1, which again will put you into Perfumer, which I think, me personally, this is probably going to be the string I go for the most because it does this now, which is awesome. You could do you can't do heat engager. I thought you could, but I was like, damn, that sucks. But this is going to be the ideal one that you want to go into because of what it gives you, right? Like you want this type of pressure here. This is just good for me. I just think it's a no-brainer. It's just a no-brainer to initiate your plus frames. And then you have your mix up between your low, you have your EI down 2, all that good stuff. If you know how to play Victor, you know what I'm talking about. It's just constant mix-ups that they're giving Victor. Now here's the one that I'm scratching my head on. This is the one nerf that I'm scratching my head on. Is this 1+2. They nerfed 1+2. As you notice, it doesn't have any pushback no more. It used to have a lot of pushback before, and it used to be -8. Now it has no more pushback. I don't know about this nerf. I don't think it hurts Victor, but I'm just like, it's just kind of a pointless nerf. Like, what's the point of nerfing that? It still does the same thing. Still does your counter hit, launcher. I mean, it still does whatever you want. I'm just like, sure, I mean, go right ahead. Like, I don't see the big change on it. At least in my opinion, I think it's still gonna act as well as it is. I mean, like, it won't, like, there's gonna be situations now where I used to be able to do this because if you saw my videos, I would do that and then do it again on block because of like the pushback. But it's whatever. Actually, whatever. It's just a change I'm scratching my head on. And for the last few nerfs, we're just going to go through these quickly here, and I'm going to give you my thoughts overall. The last few nerfs that they did was up 1+2, Expression. They changed the damage on it, as you see. It's 32 damage now, as opposed to 37. And I'm assuming it changes in here as well. Yeah, it got nerfed there as well. It used to do like 50-something, I believe. What else did it do? Down 3+4. This move does 28 damage, used to do 32 damage. So slight damage nerf there. Because if you didn't notice on Victor's combo routes now, they do slightly less damage. Like something like that would do at least like 80. Now it does 74. Slightly less damage, but you know, it's not like the whole world's falling. Victor is still Victor, and he's still going to do a lot of damage. You just got to find better routes now. Down back 4. Down back 4 got a nerf, slight nerf. They made it so this thing doesn't like hit from further out. Like I think it used to hit from like right here. Now it no longer hits. Still, it's a decent nerf. I don't think it's gonna hurt him. While rising 1+2, damage was from 10 to 17 to 10 to 12. So slightly less damage on this now. And then obviously the big one, we knew this was coming because if you play Victor or you go against this character, the chip damage has been significantly nerfed. If you look at the top right, significantly less chip. And then when he's in heat, way less chip than he used to have before. It's still a decent amount of chip, way less chip than before though. Then they said during EI stance. So EI stance 2 got a slight nerf. It was -7 pre-patch. Now it's -9. Still safe. So I mean, it doesn't really change much. And then the final nerf to Victor is during Perfumer 1. Got a slight damage nerf. Used to be 17. Now it's 15. And yeah, there it is. We've gone through all the Victor changes. Now let me give you my final thoughts and we'll close out this video because this is almost a 40-minute video. So do I think these buffs and nerfs are good for Victor? 1000%. I think this is ascending Victor into a different level when it comes to the character he's going to be. Stance heavy character, and Bandai has completely said that yes, we're strengthening his stances because we want him to be a stance heavy character. Smart. I do love the changes to him. I do love EI down 1 now. I love it. The only pointless buff is this low. Like I said, over time though, maybe it'll become somewhat more useful, but I just don't see the thing about it when I just can go into that and guarantee myself an EI1. But it's whatever, right? The other, like, us being able to cancel now from this into Perfumer, like, this is actually insane that we're able to just do stuff like this now and just get into stance, apply more stance pressure. This is what we wanted, right? We wanted a way for Victor to apply more stances, and then obviously doing that goes back into EI, and then you have Perfumer 3 going into EI. Like, there's just so much sauce that this character has now with how much mix-up he's going to be. Now, does this change his archetype? No. Victor is still, in my opinion, a high-risk, high-reward character. His mix-ups are still very high-risk, and they don't give him a lot because since he did get nerfed on his damage as well. But I do think, though, with the changes to his stances, this motherfucker is going to be mixing after mixing. Because just imagine, like, you're playing a Victor, bro, and you get hit by something like this, like a regular down 4-2 in neutral. You go for your mix-up here. You're safe at -2 now. Or you go for your... They do something dumb on block. You punish them. Now they have to guess again because you're back into EI stance. Like, there's just so many ways to get Victor into stance, and I think it's a W change for him. I love the new stuff that they gave him. I love the nerfs that they gave him because it balances out his damage. His damage is not too crazy as it once was, but obviously this is off of first reactions. Things can change over time. We can find more broken stuff about Victor later. Like I said, I'm not here to like present you new shit with Victor. I'm just here to go over the patch and give you my overall thoughts. Now let's talk about the overall patch before I close out this video, because I'm not gonna spend too much time on this. Do I like this patch? No. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I thought this patch was gonna be the saving grace for Tekken, and hell no, this patch is not the saving grace. What they did is what we didn't want them to do. And if you're looking at one character, like if you're playing Victor and you're like, oh, I love these changes, good, I'm glad you do, because I love the changes as well. You can love the changes. I'm not saying hate the changes. What I'm saying is that if you think Victor got bullshit, which he did, because he got a lot of bullshit in this patch, you have to go check out the rest of the cast. I don't know who designed half of these buffs for a lot of the cast, but it's actually insane. From what I've been seeing, because my boy Swift was showing me some Steve stuff. Steve looks fucking nuts. Azucena looks nuts. Brian, why the fuck did they buff Brian? Brian is fucking insane. Jin is fucking broke as shit still. Kazuya is insane. They made every character crazy. Like, if you guys know who FDX is, he said everybody's OP, but not everybody's OP. And it's the perfect way of putting it. They made every character just high octane offense. And it's like, holy shit, bro, why did we give all these characters some crazy shit, man? And we've been telling them we want more defensive options. We want the game to be less offensive heavy, because that was my problem with Tekken 8, is that I just think the game is too offensive heavy. I think the game is wildly offensive favored, and there's not many options of defense. Now, while they did buff defense in this patch, do not get me wrong, there's so many characters that have bullshit where I'm like, was it really like the point to like give us defensive options when you just buffed offense? Offense went from like 100 to 500 now. Like, it's actually crazy. So overall, from what I've seen from the patch, I don't think it's a great patch. I think it's a very bad patch, and I think this game is going to be talked bad about for a while now. I think Tekken communities, they're going to be saying a lot of shit about this game, and if you like the game, go right ahead and love it. I still will post content here and there on this game. Of course, I got to post more about the Victor stuff, but holy shit, this game is not exactly what I was envisioning it to be. I thought we were going to get some more help towards the defensive side, but I guess we didn't. But like I said, maybe time would tell. My opinion right now could be wrong, because this is off of first impressions. This is, what, 6-7 hours with the patch being out, so it's off of first impressions and stuff. So it's like, this is, my opinion could change over time. But holy fuck, man. What a patch. What a great patch for Victor, at least. Victor's looking fantastic. I think Victor's going to be such a fun character to play in this season. But let's enjoy it while it lasts, because I know for a fact people are going to be complaining about Victor very, very soon. Because Victor's, in my opinion, Victor might be broken. He might be. Like I said, my opinion's too early on it, but for me playing the character this much and seeing what I've been seeing on Twitter, yeah, Victor's going to be a nightmare, especially with how many stances we have, how many options we have in our stances now to just initiate more plus frames on top of the mix. So, and then that wall stuff that I showed you guys at the beginning too was, dude, insane. Yep. That's all I got to say. The video's at 40 minutes, one of my longest videos, but we needed to talk about everything. Give me your opinion down below. Do you think the patch is great? Have you seen what the other characters are doing? What do you think of Victor? Do you think Victor's not that great? Do you think the buffs are not good for him? Do you think he needs to be nerfed? Like, y'all let me know, because I think, in my opinion, I think the buffs are great for Victor, but I do think that he is going to get toned down a bit, because there's a lot of stuff that where I'm like, holy shit, this is not needed. Like, but right now, let's enjoy it, right? I hope you all enjoyed the video. Very long one. We're going to put timestamps down below for the rest of it, so you guys can just go to each section of the video. But appreciate y'all again, and we'll see y'all in the next Tekken 8 video, which will most likely be a gameplay showing off our new Victor in this season 2. Peace out, everybody.